Hi, this is Brett Watwood. I will be your instructor for EDU6333 Social Media and Beyond. So I'd like to take a few minutes to use this Prezi to just give you an overview of the course. And again, I'm Brett Watwood. I'm also B. Watwood in Twitter. I have a email address at Northeastern. I blog through EduBlogs. I have a LinkedIn account. In other words, I have a digital identity. In fact, the image to the left is the one I typically use on Twitter and Facebook as my online identity. It's a little snarkier than my professional image on the right. And that's part of social media, part of what we're going to get into in this course. So let me just spend a few minutes talking about EDU6333. It's an opportunity for you to experiment with the web and Web 2.0, to think about the good uses and potentially bad uses of some of the media that's out there, and it's rapidly evolving. Social media has really been around about 8 to 10 years at the most, and the rules are still being established. We'll think about what's the value of this for learning and for teaching, is there any? And we'll collaboratively do this as we explore. Some questions to keep in mind as we move forward. Does what happened in the past help guide our future? Maybe, maybe not. Does research say anything about integrating technology in the learning experience? Quite a bit. And can the Web 2.0 enhance motivation and learning? I think it can. So that's what we'll be looking at in this course. There are 2 required books. Tanya Justin's Social Media for Educators and Paul Anderson's Web 2.0 and Beyond. Both are pretty recent books, but even that means they're outdated. So we'll be supplementing these books with websites and articles found on the web. The course flow is a bit of back and forth. We look at obviously software and tools, but we also look at pedagogy and process, and we kind of have a theme each week. We might start off defining social media, but then move down to the process of networked learning. Come back and look at some multimedia images and video processes, and then our tools, and then move into how those might be used in a constructivist approach to learning. We'll look at standards across a lot of this, but then think about some of the unstructured kinds of things like crowdsourcing and open sourcing. We'll wrap up looking at gamification and the potential use of social media in the gaming of education, and think about what's this mean for you and how do we move forward. It'll be a fast 12 weeks. I think you'll enjoy it. Most of your work each week will take place initially on Blackboard, and of course you'll be every week doing a reflective discussion post in the discussion board of what the top things that hit you about the week were, and sharing that with each other and remarking to each other about that. But you'll also be out on social media. Every week you'll be doing tweets on Twitter. There'll be a couple of times when we'll substitute a private Facebook group for the Blackboard discussion board, just to kind of explore whether discussions in Facebook feel and act differently than those in Blackboard. If we have time, we might even spend a little bit of time looking at LinkedIn as a platform. So we'll be using some social media as part of this process. To get started, and you found the Get Started video, obviously, if you're watching this, I'm asking you to optionally set up a dummy email account if you don't want to use one of your real accounts. That's perfectly fine. You do have to set up a Twitter account, and I have to know who you are by that Twitter account, but you don't have to identify yourself in that Twitter account. That this is a bit of what it's like to operate on the web. I'm going to suggest that you use either TweetDeck or Hootsuite as software processes to kind of organize your tweets, and I'll show you that in a minute or two. You'll be setting up, if you don't have a Facebook account, you'll be setting one up so that you can join our private group page in Facebook. And in the Getting Started section, there is a very short little survey just so I can gather some information about the class as a whole. When you set up your Twitter account, one of the things you'll be doing is linking to a Google document to just simply list your name and what your account is so that we can begin to build a roster for the class of who's out there. A little bit about my teaching style. You may not have seen this in other faculty. I use a process called PI, and I actually got this from some universities down in Florida that modeled this about a decade ago. And PI stands for Preparation, Interactions, and Evaluation. So every week you'll see the section in Blackboard divided into those three sections. The preparation basically is setting the perspective for the week, an overview, learning objectives, and I always give you a very specific task list of things you'll have to do that week and due dates. Then in interactions, this is where all the work takes place. This is where you interact with the content through readings or watching videos. This is where you begin to interact with each other through discussions, and that includes join the conversation, which is going out on Twitter and tweeting about something. I'll give you more about that in a second. And maybe sometimes some additional resources. And then finally an evaluation. This is where it breaks down how you're evaluated each week, either through your participation or through actually turning in assignments. There is a flow to the week, and this is in the syllabus, but just to reinforce it, basically there's 2 due dates every week. By Thursday night, you need to have initially posted something in the discussion board and initially tweeted about whatever the topics were that we're doing on Twitter. And then between Friday morning and Sunday night, you're responding to your classmates and to me, both in the discussion board and on Twitter. So there'll be kind of a flow to the course each week as we move through. So you'll probably spend more time on Twitter almost every day doing something, but those are the hard deadlines of Thursday night and Sunday night. These are the major assignments for the course. Notice up front weekly participation in Twitter discussions and so forth. That's 25% of your grade. This is meant to be a course built on dialogue, and so I'll be keeping track in some way of what goes on, giving you feedback on how you're doing about that. Paper assignments include an infographic analysis, a crowdsourced poll, a lesson revamp, and a little report about a technology legal case. And then finally, you're going to be reflecting on the learning that took place in this course and attaching some signature works into Digication for the ePortfolio. So that's the course as it stands, and now I'd like to just dive into the course and spend a little time showing you what's going on. Alright, so let me spend a few minutes just walking you through the Blackboard course and hitting some of the significant pieces for this course. Obviously, this course is not yet available. I'm actually recording this on Labor Day, so I'm a couple weeks out here. Once the course gets going, I will make use of announcements, and when I send an announcement on Blackboard, I'll also make sure it goes out to your email. The syllabus section is located right here, and you'll note that it's also got information about the 2 textbooks. There's a Start Here section, and I'll be putting that video right here once I get it done. But right below the video will be a pre-course setup with instructions on setting up your Twitter account, either using Hootsuite or TweetDeck, and I tend to use TweetDeck. In fact, I'll bounce over there for a second. Here's current TweetDeck, and my tweets are coming in here from the people that I follow, and I follow about I don't know, about 900 some people. Got about 1,600 people following me. So when one of them sends me something, I get a notification here. I've set up a hashtag for the class, hashtag EDU6333. And if you ever put that, first off, if you create a column for it, and I'll show you how in a second, and then someone uses that hashtag like you in a tweet, as I did here, it'll automatically bring that tweet into this column. So this is the easiest way to keep track of what you and your classmates are saying in this class. I've also suggested that you follow a couple of other hashtags. This is the EdTech one here. This is e-learning here. So that'll just give you a feel for some of the things that are going out on Twitter. The thing I like about TweetDeck, besides organizing things for me, is I can very easily create a tweet right here. It keeps count of my characters, so I know when I'm getting close to my 140 characters, and when you click this, it tweets it out. You can also set up hashtags real easily. For instance, here's I Heart Co-op, and at the bottom of this column is a button that says add column, and it'll automatically add it over in here. So that makes this a very easy process to when you set TweetDeck up, the only 2 columns you're going to have are home and notifications, but you can easily add other columns. I have columns in multiple areas, either people I'm following or other hashtags. My TweetDeck actually goes out about double the size of what I'm showing you. So that's TweetDeck, and then again, there's a Facebook page that I'm asking you to like to get us going. We'll be setting up a Facebook group that's private as we get further along. And there's a little survey on Google Forms that you'll be taking initially. So that's the Start Here section. The weekly lessons are set up here, just to show you week 4 as an example. Again, here's that pie set up, preparation, interactions, and evaluation. As you can either click through pages, clicking the little icon over here. I love putting little images in, like this one here, that just give you something, food for thought. But you can also come straight over to any of these and click. And so, if you want to check out what the readings are for a week, this gives you the readings out of the books plus a couple of articles on the web. You'll notice that I make good use of videos in here. This was an interesting video by Kevin Kelling talking about the future of the web and the 6 verbs that are going to come to play, and then Michael Horn talking about disrupting class. So that's a typical kind of combination of readings and videos. When you see join the conversation, that's where I'm asking you to go out and tweet something. In this particular case, it's what were your thoughts about Kelly's talk? Do you think it applies to schools? And so forth. And so hopefully you'll not just be tweeting once and responding to a couple of people. You'll actually be setting up a dialogue between all of us in the class on Twitter that can get quite interesting. Every week I'll have you go into the discussion board and reflect on the week. What were the hot spots that really stood out for you? Are you left with any questions? And do you have any strong opinions about what you read or saw? And again, we'll bounce that across all of us and comment to each other about that. This is meant to be a collaborative learning experience. There's no right views or wrong views. For that case, there's just views, and we'll try to build some sort of group consensus as we go along, but that's not necessarily going to happen in all cases. Every week I'll come back to the task list for that week and just remind you the things that had to be done and when, and if there's a specific thing to be turned in, here's a case of turning in an analysis of an infographic, and so you're turning a short paper in to me. And I also have a section called Just for Fun. Won't happen every week, but it's when I find something that might tie into what we're talking about. In this particular case, it was the use of animated GIFs as part of communication, and so you'll see quite a few of these on the web. I just kind of threw 5 in here to make a point, but you don't have to do anything with the Just for Funs. It's just for fun. There will be, as I said, discussions, and pay attention to the task list, because most weeks there's one, but every now and then, like week 2, there's going to be 2 different discussions. A discussion on personal learning networks, and then the typical reflection for the week. So you'll also notice that in certain weeks we're going to be going out to Facebook instead of Blackboard. I try to make that really clear with something like this. Don't post here, go to Facebook to post. But keep that in mind as we move along. My information is located here. You'll notice I not only give you my email address, but my cell phone. Don't abuse that, but if you do need to get a hold of me or text me, I provide that to you. So I think that should give you a pretty good feel for the course.